Moscow, Idaho. Not the Russian capital, but a small college town nestled in the Palouse Hills. Here, doors were left unlocked, and the biggest worry was finding a parking spot or grabbing a late-night pizza. On November 12, 2022, the town buzzed with students, laughter echoing through the streets. It was a night like any other. Safe, ordinary, full of promise. At 11:22, King Road, Kaylee Goncalves and Madison Mogan, best friends, enjoyed a final night out. Zana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin, her boyfriend, were also out, part of the town's close-knit fabric. The house was alive with dreams and friendship, a symbol of safety. But safety can be an illusion, shattered in an instant. As Moscow slept, a shadow moved through the quiet streets. This wasn't a random act or a crime of passion, it was cold, calculated, and methodical. The peace of this community was about to be stolen. The idea of safety in your own home was about to be violated in the most brutal way. No one saw it coming. The bars closed, streets emptied, and students returned home. At King Road, the residents settled in, unaware they were being watched. Someone with a dark purpose had chosen them. The ordinary night was slipping away, about to be rewritten by unimaginable violence. The quiet would soon be broken by a scream no one would hear until it was too late. Sunday, November 13th. The sun rose, but at 11:22 King Road something was wrong. The usual sounds, music, chatter, coffee, were replaced by an eerie silence. Friends' calls and texts went unanswered. Concern turned to fear. A 911 call just before noon reported an unconscious person. First responders found a nightmare. 4 young lives brutally ended. Kaylee, Madison, Zana, and Ethan gone, victims of a swift, merciless attack. The news spread like wildfire, shattering the town's innocence. The house became a sealed crime scene, a monument to tragedy. The investigation began, but there were no signs of forced entry, no clear motive. 2 roommates survived, deepening the mystery. The small police force faced a case unlike any before. Fear and suspicion gripped Moscow. Students left, doors locked, trust eroded. The nightmare had only begun, casting a long, dark shadow. As investigators searched for answers, a name surfaced: Bryan Kohberger. Not a local, but a 28-year-old PhD student in criminology at nearby Washington State University. He was known for his intelligence and intense focus on the criminal mind. He studied killers, their motives, and how they're caught. The irony was chilling. He was learning about crime while allegedly planning one. Kohberger's research delved into offenders' thoughts and feelings during crimes. What once seemed academic now looked like a blueprint. Was his education a quest for knowledge, or a training ground for something darker? Prosecutors believed the student of shadows had stepped into the darkness himself. He drove his white Hyundai Elantra to Moscow that night, police alleged. The contrast was stark, the quiet academic and the accused killer. 2 sides of a disturbing double life. He studied monsters, but perhaps the monster was always in the mirror. The academic world and the world of crime had collided in one man. The question was no longer what he knew, but what he had done. The investigation was a race against time. Behind the scenes, a multi-agency task force sifted through tips and surveillance footage. They hunted a ghost, someone who left grief, but few leads. The breakthrough came from surveillance cameras, a white Hyundai Elantra circling King Road. The car was traced to Bryan Kohberger. Suddenly, the ghost had a name. Investigators tracked his cell phone, revealing he'd been near the house a dozen times before the murders. His phone was off during the killings, a suspicious move. He left a digital trail, not the invisibility he'd studied. At the crime scene, a knife sheath held a single male DNA sample. Investigators matched it to Kohberger using DNA from his family's trash in Pennsylvania. The lab results were definitive. The hunter had become the hunted, the net was closing in, and the evidence was mounting. The methods he studied had led to his capture. The case was about to break wide open. On December 30th, 2022, Kohberger was arrested in Pennsylvania. The quiet academic was now the accused killer. The evidence was methodical and damning. Digital forensics, cell phone data, and DNA. His knowledge of police work didn't save him. It made his mistakes more glaring. Turning off his phone created a suspicious void in his data trail. The DNA on the knife sheath was the smoking gun. For all his study, he made a rookie mistake, leaving something behind. Academic theory was no match for human error. Kohberger was caught by the very methods he'd studied. Surveillance, cell phone pings, and DNA sealed his fate. His education only made his downfall more chilling. With Kohberger in custody, the world tried to understand him. He was intelligent but isolated, described as socially awkward and intense. He'd overcome addiction, channeling his energy into academics. But beneath the surface, a darker obsession grew. He wasn't just studying crime, he was fascinated by criminals. Was his academic interest a way to control his impulses, or did it embolden him? Some experts saw him as an incel, driven by resentment and rage. He lived more in his head than in the world, an observer who became a participant. His studies and his alleged crimes became inseparable. Kohberger became a living case study, a criminology student who crossed the line. For over a year, Kohberger maintained his innocence. His defense challenged evidence, preparing for a high-profile trial. The prosecution sought the death penalty, confident in their case. The nation watched, waiting for a dramatic courtroom showdown. Then, on August 29, 2024, everything changed. Kohberger pleaded guilty to 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary. In exchange, the death penalty was taken off the table. He'd serve 4 life sentences. The long-awaited trial would never happen. Relief swept through the community. Families were spared a painful trial. But there was also a sense of loss. Many questions would remain unanswered. The guilty plea closed the legal chapter, but the story felt incomplete. The monster had confessed, but the motive stayed locked away. The nation was left to wonder why. The guilty plea brought closure, but not healing. The families of Kaylee, Madison, Zana, and Ethan faced unimaginable grief. Their loss was a void that could never be filled. The town of Moscow was left scarred, its sense of safety shattered. Doors once left unlocked were now bolted. The house on King Road was demolished, but the memory lingered. The university community mourned, holding vigils and seeking comfort. The case was a brutal lesson. No place is immune to darkness. The tragedy became a cultural touchstone, raising questions about evil hiding in plain sight. How does someone cross the line from studying crime to committing it? The case became a chilling reminder of life's fragility. Monsters, it turned out, could be anyone, even the person sitting next to you. After all the analysis and legal proceedings, the most important truth remains: the 4 lives lost. Kaylee, Madison, Zana, and Ethan were more than victims. They were vibrant, loving individuals. Kaylee was adventurous and loyal, weeks from graduating. Madison was her inseparable best friend, known for her kindness. Zana was tough and full of life. Ethan, her boyfriend, was beloved for his smile and heart. Their futures were stolen in a moment of senseless violence. The case will be studied for years, but the lesson should be about the light extinguished, not the darkness. We must remember their smiles, laughter, and dreams. Their legacy is not how they died, but how they lived. 4 bright lights gone too soon who made the world better in their short time. That is what endures. Let their memory be a call to cherish life and protect each other. That is their true legacy.